If you are looking for open source streaming transport, this could be the one that you've been waiting for. Hello everyone, welcome to Tabama Hi-Fi Review channel. AIMA Audio recently introduced highly capable Android OS based streaming transport, highly optimized for music streaming digital transport that they introduced a few months back. I had this unit for quite a long time, open source design that you can add third-party apps or native apps based on Android 14. There is no telecommunication firmware other than Wi-Fi and Bluetooth inside this DM100 Cortex quad-core A55 chip inside with 8 gig of memory and 64 gig of internal storage come with it. Plus you can add up to 4 terabyte of add-on NVMe drive, which is 2.0 drives that you can add it under the DM100. So my drive is Samsung drive with less than 2 terabyte of music in there. It's loaded quickly, probably less than 10 minutes you read through, so which is pretty efficient and easy and optimized very nicely all the albums and categories and everything. When I try to search music or artists, or those are currently not available. They updated this firmware recently, latest firmware as of right now. Android system is pretty much very similar to X2O. This one is open source, but I'm not Android expert, so I don't have that detailed information. I just use Tidal or those Spotify or those apps. DM100 is capable of AirPlay, DLNA, and NAS, but when I try to access NAS drive inside this DM100 from Volumio app, it wasn't available. So that is probably more to do with compatibility, although they are connected directly in same network using Ethernet cables. So that is a little downside. But when I'm using Tidal or Spotify or those apps inside, it works flawlessly. Screen could be a little better. I'm using this DM100 as a just streaming box with internal storage that I added in there. So you have to transfer all the music, not transfer, you have to load and command all the music into library to be able to create your own playlist. So that is pretty much same as any other Android OS based system. So compared to one of my favorite and my reference, Eversolo T8, software and hardware and all those areas are not to the level of Eversolo T8. Even the screen is not in the same level, hence this one is only selling it for $530. For that, you get better streaming transport than your mobile device, highly optimized for audio playback and internal storage bay that you can add all the music that you may have in your drive, so that is big plus. According to AIMA, this one is totally optimized for music playback, and they are committed for long-term support on this DM100 for your music streaming, so that is good to know. So operation system works flawlessly and firmware is recently updated, but it has to improve a little bit more in usability and features, right? So as far as the sound quality goes and hardware quality, this is going to be as good as it can get and better than your mobile or your laptop devices. If you are using those, that's going to be great upgrade, but not to the level of Eversolo T8 like streaming capability and quality and everything that they can offer on those higher price point devices. But this is going to be good option for you to consider. You can do Tidal Connect to other streaming transport. Even this SMS N100, I was able to do Tidal Connect from DM100 to this SMS N100. DM100 come with standard remote control as well, which I don't use. I use pretty much everything through my phone. like pretty much same as the H2O DM10 Play Remote app that you can access like here. So these are all the albums inside my drive. So you can go to File. This is all the features that are available. This is my hard drive or the SSD drive. And these are favorite SMB that you can access to Dropbox and file share. You can even share the file from here. So I don't know how to do that. So I don't really know about Android on these. And these are all the source like USB or the internet source or Bluetooth, that is input source, and output you can do SPDI, USB, HDMI, and Bluetooth. So right, those are output. Two-way Bluetooth, that is Bluetooth 5.4, and you can do mode, that is going to be DSD over PCM or DSD native. So DSD native I tested up to 11.28, which works wonderfully well. So that is no problem at all. And these are all the codes interface, which is I have no idea why they are showing it. And you can do these CD ripping, CD play, all that, and the net disk and this Dropbox and AirPlay, QPlay, and DLNA. And you can change it to landscape or portrait as well here. And this is mine, and this is going to be casting, meaning you can cast the screen of the DM100 to your mobile device. Gain control is available, which is bypass, and I'm not using it. And next one is audio up. It's audio upsampling, so it will upsample to highest possible based on file. So it's going to be twice as upsampling. If you have 96K, it's going to be 192K, which I'm not using. So that is a few things that I like to show you. And then this is a record portrait, meaning the screen that you will use it here like I have on there, but this is going to be portrait mode. That is very neat feature. And casting, so that is exactly as we see on the screen. Music center, these are like I showed you before. And next one is file browser. These are all the music files that I have in there. And go back, and next one is this albums. So those are gonna show up here, all the albums. And next one is mode. That is going to be same thing. So DSD native, that's what I'm using. These are digital outputs, as you can see. And next one is my app. So I'm not using, right now I'm only using Tidal. I removed that Spotify app, which is I'm not using. Amazon Music, oh there you go, Spotify, Apple Music. All these are available. And Smart Tube, that is one of my favorite feature because it has HDMI out. So if you want to use as a music server as well as your media server, so this one can use HDMI output. So these are all the settings that I have. And display, the display is kind of, the factory setting is kind of dim. I think it's only like 10% or so. So I raised it up to like 80%. And network, that is my home network that is connected to it. This is where you connect or where you download the Play Control app. And language. So language, it only showing the small letter. So I want to capitalize it, or I can't change on that, especially for the music file. This is a detail of the system. So these are all the details that are available. And another thing that people may like this kind of transport is open source design. You can do however you like. You can even put your own app in there if you like. So that's a few things that are really good about it. So operation system, if you are Android expert, there's going to be endless option and you can do pretty much as you want. Overall features and functions and everything that it can do is very good. Better than many streaming boxes. Ability to add internet storage as well as attaching external USB drives to it. Major selling point of this AIYIMA Highfield DM100 is open source design, internal bay that you can load up to 4 terabyte of storage inside, and HDMI output. So that is going to be total highlight of this DM100 features and function, usability and features, since they are committed to long-term support on this DM100. So that is going to be pretty good option for you to consider, especially if you are a big fan of Android OS and Android playback system, but not as highly polished as Eversolo OS, I would say. And the sound quality and clock system and everything is not to that level yet. But for the money of $530, this is a great option for you to consider. So that is the experience that I like to share with you. Thank you for watching. Happy listening.
Come into my solitude, though I weary be. Come into my tenderness, dream along with me. Listen to the whispers sing, listen to the singer shout. Come into my solitude, be my big mouth. Thoughts unspoken, thoughts unsaid, lies of hearth and home. Children broken on the bed and left to lie alone. Things you talk around, scum you choke on down. Come into my solitude, step on sacred ground. We were speaking of values and violence, breaking silence. Fathers who are lovers to the daughters that they own. Mothers who believe a child is single safety zone. People so unhinged that death is much too kind. Come into my solitude, step over that line. Thought I was the only one. Thought I was the only. Thought I was the only one. Breaking silence. Come to my solitude, welcome to the wheel. Come into this wonderland of wounds that will not heal. Walls that do not speak, steps that do not sound. Come in